We are here today at Fort McCoy, Wisconsin with some of the finest JAG soldiers in the United States Army. Over the next 2 weeks, they're going to get a myriad of classroom hours on all different aspects of operational military law, and then they're also going to put that law to the test, that training to the test, out in the field here at Fort McCoy.
When you're sitting there in class, the instructors here, they'll ask you a question, and you might be wrong, you might be right, but you give them an answer and they say, okay. And they give you a question about your answer, and it goes back and forth. Eventually it just starts a whole conversation. It's a good course. You might know some of the stuff here, but you're also going to build on top of what you know.
I expect you to be accountable. Don't make excuses. Own your mistakes, because it builds character.
Everything that I had heard about PWTC before I came here was positive. They said, you know, it's long days, it's hard training, you know, it's hot in the field in Wisconsin in July, and I was hesitant about that, but everybody said you don't even notice it. It's fast days, it's engaging, it's fun, you learn so much, and I'm glad I came because they were absolutely correct. This is great training.
It's definitely better to get out of the classroom and into the field. I love doing field stuff. And applying what we learn in the classroom, I would say we learn like the legal side of everything, you know, we do out here. So being out here and like actually applying what we learned is really a good thing to do.
The biggest misconception is that a paralegal never leaves his desk, and that is not true, because the first thing they teach you in basic training is that soldiers first, then your job later.
Most of these soldiers don't ever get training like this. They don't ever get to do their real job at their units. They don't get the most updated current information outside of a classroom. They spend the majority of their time looking at slide decks and being talked at instead of talked with. So when they come to an environment like this, not only are they engaged in a classroom, but they're engaged out in a field environment where they can put those skills to the test. So it gives a whole new dimension to the training they work with.
The young paralegal that reviews that 15-6 maybe have an incident that happened while clearing a building. That paralegal have a different way of looking at that case now, because they can kind of put themselves there and look at it from a different purview. So every opportunity we have to train them on those soldier skills, soldier movement, whatever it may be, making sure their soldier skills are there. Those exercises build on the professional law and the professional army.
What they're doing now, particularly this week with the field exercises, they're acting as if they're maneuvering as if they're an infantry squad, understanding what an infantryman might experience, and then they're understanding how, when things go wrong, how their role as paralegals help fix the challenge set that we may have created. And so I think there's hands-on learning that's occurring here that might not happen in other locations.
Cross the street! Move up to that corner over there. Far side, go! Watch the roof! I got you covered, move forward!
As an Army, we have a responsibility. And our responsibility as an Army is to win America's wars. My responsibility to American people is to do everything I can to make you as great as you are, to be a part of that capability for America. Win America's wars.
My hope for the future of PWTC is that students from this course start getting involved and getting engaged. It takes them, it takes that young E5, that young E6 to say, I want to be a part of something like this, to be engaged from the beginning and use their new experiences. We're going to have new conflicts, new scenarios, new training missions that some of us will be aged out of going to, or some of us will be aged out of participating in and won't know as much as they know. And eventually they're going to be the leaders, and I hope that at least one or two out of this course steps up and they're our future cadre.